You may be.
Hi, I'm Brendan. As most of you know, today is my birthday, and I have a question for Chase. Chase, have you ever wondered who finances business money?
No.
Or who sets goals for the business?
Never.
Okay, that is called the financial manager. The financial manager is the goal setter of the business. They usually work with math and are found in banks and insurance companies. You need a bachelor's degree in finance, and a master's degree is becoming more important. I had three choices that I could choose from. My first choice, as you all know, is a financial manager. The reason that was my first choice is because the financial manager works 40 hours a week, and so if I work all weekdays, I could get weekends off. My second choice was similar to a financial manager. That is the sales manager. The sales manager also does things like the financial manager, which are looks at recent data and tries to reduce spending costs for that year. I also wanted to be an accountant. The reason I wanted to be an accountant is because you didn't get paid as much, you still worked 40 hours a week, and you could still look at recent records. I chose the financial manager because it was the best choice for me, but I had to compare it to the other two. Opportunity cost is the gain of the highest value, but you also lost the other two choices that you wanted. For instance, I gained the financial manager, which I thought it would be exciting looking at recent records and trying to reduce spending costs. But I lost the sales manager because what you don't get done on the job in the 40 hours you have to work, you have to take it home and study some more. There's three positives for being a financial manager. The first one is you make a very good start out pay, which is $63,000 a year. That's $5,250 a month. I also get to talk to people within the business and see how it's going and see what they want me to do better. I also am close to the head of the board of directors, which means I can help decision making or persuade their minds to my side. There's three negatives for being a financial manager. The first one is I have to work 40, it says I work 40 hours a week, but if I don't get anything done, I would have to bring it home and work on it. Secondly, if I'm working on deadlines so much, I can miss my lunch hour. Work hours may not always be flexible, so I wouldn't get time to go home and spend time with my future family. My spreadsheet. As you can see, most of my estimates were off. My housing is not as much because I'm splitting it with a roommate. My parents' estimates were on because they've had more experience than I have. My pie graph, or my monthly budget, is the majority of it is taken up by discretionary and taxes. Taxes is 29% of my money. The reason that is so high is because since I make a bigger or more pay, I have to owe more to the government. My discretionary is extra little things I might need to help my own desires. For instance, cable TV. My housing is 8%. That is not as much because I'm splitting it with a partner. My utilities is electricity and gas that I might pay so I can get places and still have things to cook and see. My transportation is a car, and that is at 13%. I'm going to drive to and from work and not really do anything outside of my work. My school loans is 4%. That's extra money I have to pay back to the school to thank them for helping me learn about my financial manager. My medical insurance is 10%. The reason that is 10% is because I have to pay to make sure if I get hurt or get sick on the job, I would not have to pay for it. My toiletries is 1%, and that is just things that could help me look good, like shampoo or deodorant, just so I can look good for my work and impress my clients. My food is 5%. I'm paying around $300 for my food for one person because I have 3 meals a day. My resume. I attended Wichita State University for 5 years, and I got a bachelor and master's degree in finance. I learned a bunch of skills on the job. I had 3 skills that were the most important to me: logic, mathematics, and speaking. The reason why I needed logic is because there's a lot of critical thinking on the job that I might need. That helped me with my next skill because there's a bunch of problem solving in mathematics because I have to look at recent data and try to reduce my spending costs. Speaking was a huge thing because when I would present my data to the CEO or board of directors of my business, I would have to speak clearly and make sure they could understand what I was saying. My experience in finance began at an early age when I was an equipment manager for a baseball team. The team's budget was $200, and I had to make sure I didn't go over on my taxes. or didn't go over the spending costs, and I had to add taxes into that. During high school, I was employed as a bank teller and I learned the experiment. I learned the fundamentals of banking and working with the public. Communication skills were important when presenting my ideas clearly. My references are Jim Brenneman, who's an accountant at BMG, and Billy Bob, who's the manager of Billy Banks. Job application. I'm applying a job for Mr. Cohn. Mr. Cohn is an owner of a successful business called Elite Clothing Store. I wanted to be a financial manager for Mr. Cohn. I would like to analyze profit margin and set goals for his net. 5 websites that helped me the most were probably Bureau Labor Statistics, which I learned averages of 2012. Financial manager job descriptions, I learned about that is growing 9% in the next 10 years. Also, a financial manager summary, I learned typical work days, what it might seem like, how many hours I work a day. Also, future colleges, which would tell me which colleges were best for bachelor's degree and finance degrees. And also a financial manager online, I learned tools that I would use and what duties I had to fulfill on that day. My first article was from BLS, Bureau Labor Statistics. It showed me tasks I would have to do. For instance, I had to set goals for the company and dress appropriate so I didn't get fired. I also had to look at business financial reports and try to reduce spending costs. My second article was from College Boards Education. This article is about how good it paid, which colleges were best for me, and that it could be stressful working more than 40 hours a week. That means it could keep me from attending my family's day activities on the weekdays. Chase, would you like to be a financial manager now that I explained it?
Yes.
I'm going to try to meet all the standards, and I've set the bar high. This lesson taught me about how hard life really is, and you just need to save up your money. I know many other jobs I can fall back on if my financial manager job does not take off. For instance, I have sales manager and accountant to fall back on. I'm going to end with a quote from Steve Jobs. The only way to do great work is to love what you do.